Welcome back. It's been a busy few days, as you guys might know. A lot of updates to talk about with the site, with the podcast in general, with the movement as a whole. It's crazy. Things are moving extremely fast. I'm very happy about it. We actually just got approved today for our full developer access for Apple. So within about 10 days or so, we should have Altura on the App Store as well as the Google Play Store. So I would appreciate it if you guys tune in, at least make an account on for free on alturasociety.com. Give us some feedback and let us know how we're doing. But it's great to have all of you back for the podcast as always. Tonight's episode, I think, is absolutely necessary. It just as every other one in its own way. Tonight's is going to cover a topic and a theme that I think impacts most of us that are trying to get off the ground or start a business in general. And so that's why we're here. And if you guys give me about 20 to 25 minutes on whatever platform you're on, Instagram, Rumble, YouTube, X, I'd love to explain why I think this is the best use of your time. I'm going to start with honestly my truth of this whole thing. They sold you 47 apps in general to create a problem they created. Notion, Asana, Trello, ClickUp, right? To-do list, all of these things that are productivity tools, right? And most of the time, you guys are just still overwhelmed. You're behind and you're wondering why you just can't get things done. But I'm going to tell you exactly why I think this is an issue. And before we do that, I want to show you guys, like I always do, the facts of the matter. I also need to tell you why I'm kind of angry, by this and why I've been impacted in the same way. But, by sharing this and taking the time, you guys are also going to be in some way free. Before I go off here, before I get angry, let me tell you who I am and more importantly, why you should care. I am not some sort of productivity guru. I'm not here to sell you a morning routine or a journaling habit. I'm a builder, and I've spent 3 years and almost definitely thousands of dollars drowning in the same apps that you guys are using right now. And I got so frustrated, so like fundamentally fed up with the entire system that I started doing something about it. I started building something different. And that's something, you guys, is launching, like I just said, this month on the App Store and the Google Play Store. It is called Altura. If you haven't heard of Altura, please go to the website down here and check it out. And here's what makes it different from everything that I'm about to tear apart tonight. You guys don't pay us. We pay you. Right now, in the next month, in the next 6 months, in the next year, but especially starting now, you can go on to alturasociety.com and just start earning free tokens, like actual cryptocurrency tokens, and rewards, which is literally translatable to money, just for being early. You guys get paid to use our service. You get paid to build your company. That is not a gimmick. For the first time ever in history, you guys are getting paid to start a company without giving things away. That is the fundamental inversion of everything wrong with this industry. So yes, I've earned the right to criticize because the current model, they extract value from you. With our model, we create value with you. So again, alturasociety.com, if you guys are watching before we start, get in before the app drops because there's even more money to be made for free. And you're going to be setting yourself up well rather than spending another week in a bunch of shitty apps. Now, with that said, let me tell you why everything else is broken. I want to start with the part that nobody talks about, which is the business model. Every productivity app that you guys use operates on the same fundamental incentive structure. And that structure is essentially designed to fail you. They make money, Notion, Trello, all these like productivity apps, Google Calendar, right? When you stay in the app, not when you finish your work, but when you stay in the app. Think about that for a second, right? The entire revenue model, subscriptions, engagement metrics, daily active users, all of it depends on you spending more time inside their system because then you stay subscribed. Think about like Netflix or, Apple Music, right? It's the same way. It's not anything less. So why would they ever design something that actually gets you out of the app faster by getting your stuff done? They wouldn't. They can't. Their shareholders would essentially fire them. Every feature that they add, right? Google, Notion, whatever it is, if you guys are using any of these apps, they just add more complexity. more time configuring, more time organizing and organizing your organization system, more time of inside of an app. The average American, entrepreneur or startup guy now spends over $270 a month on subscriptions. The average American, actually, that's just in general. That's over $3,000 a year that us Americans are spending on a lot of times bullcrap that just sits unused. And according to a CNET survey, most people are losing over $1,000 of that annually to subscriptions they don't even remember signing up for. Most of you guys have no idea what you're paying for. So you're just giving away free value, and therefore your labor and the time worked, you're basically being a slave to these apps. You're not using the apps, they're using you. You're paying them to waste your time, and they're doing a damn good job at it. And even if you think you're using all the value, you might still be paying for it on like our app with money you're getting from working. So you kind of are paying them and working for them. Here's a number that should make you, in my opinion, absolutely furious. 23 minutes. 23. That's how long it takes your brain to fully refocus after switching between apps. 23 minutes. That's not an opinion. That's research from UC Irvine replicated by Microsoft's own studies. Now, according to Gartner, desk workers now use nearly twice as many apps as they did in 2019. The average knowledge worker toggles between apps over 1,000 times in a day. It's unrealistic and honestly unbelievable, but it is realistic, actually. 1,000 context switches, 1,000 flips of a light switch in your brain, 23 minutes of recovery every time. So you're doing the wasting 23 minutes between each of those switches. I mean, you do the math. Actually, I did it for you. Harvard Business Review calculated that employees lose 5 working weeks per year, 5 entire weeks, more than a month, just to context switching. That's not a productivity problem. That's a structural failure. You guys aren't working. You're recovering from switching between the tools that are supposed to help you work. Isn't that ironic? And here's what really bothers me. The solution that you're sold by the industry when you try to make it off the ground and start your own company or your own hustle, right? More tools, better integrations, Zapier this into that. Connect your calendar to your task manager, to your notes app, to your second brain, to your fucking asshole for all it matters. More connections means more switches. More switches means more lost time. It's an infinite loop designed to keep you guys busy, but not actually productive. And I think you guys know at the end of the day that I'm not lying. You feel kind of like lost or ADHD because you have to switch so much. There's no such thing as multitasking. You guys might think there is, there's not. You're just multi-failing. You guys never actually can do 2 things at once. Your brain really just switches back and forth really fast, so it looks like it. Let me tell you guys something uncomfortable about that, little checkbox you love so much. It's a dopamine trap, and it has nothing to do with actual progress. Your to-do lists, your task lists, your brain releases dopamine when you complete a task. And you guys are using checkbox systems and crossing items off lists to feel dopamine. The little hit of satisfaction when you check the box on your Apple to-do list or whatever it is, it feels like progress, but it feels like you're winning, right? But here's what productivity industry figured out, honestly, years ago. They can hack that feeling of dopamine and that consistent feeling without delivering actual results. So you guys are really just paying to fondle yourself in a dopamine-fueled way. So what did we do? What do we do about this? Well, we have to break big, and we have to split up the meaningful work into tiny, meaningless subtasks. Not because it's more efficient, it's not. But because honestly, we get more check boxes, more dopamine hits, and therefore systems that sell this give that fake feeling of progress by spreading you too thin. And I've watched people spend an hour organizing all their task list instead of actually spending the hour doing the work where it could have already been done. And at the end of the hour, they've checked off 15 boxes and moved exactly 0 fucking needles. So you tell me what's progress. This is by design. These apps are optimized primarily for engagement. They're just like social media. They're not outcomes. Notion is not there to help you. It's there to distract you, make you feel good because it looks aesthetic You feel like you're really organized and have control over your life. They want you addicted to the motion of productivity, not the substance of it. And I know this because I was that person. I had color-coded tags, priority matrices, custom views. I'm that INTJ personality that loves control and systematic approaches. My system was fucking beautiful. My actual output, though, was mediocre at best. You guys are addicted to the feeling of progress without actually making any. And again, I want to talk about Notion. Notion's a big example, like Google Docs, right? But fancier. Notion looks beautiful. Your life, though, is still chaos. I have nothing against Notion, by the way, as a product. What I have a problem with is what Notion represents. The idea that if your productivity system, just looks good at the end of the day, even if it's aesthetic enough, if it's Instagram worthy enough to show that you have your life put together, somehow that translates to results and that people think you're better. It doesn't. I've seen people spend weeks, literal weeks, building the perfect fucking Notion dashboard to run their business. And you guys spend a month or two before you even start selling your product, kind of like, call it mental masturbation, just distracting yourself. Custom databases, relation properties, roll-ups, formulas, spreadsheets, toggle blocks inside toggle blocks. And then you know what they do? You guys know what you do with all this month of work before you start your business? You never fucking use it. Because the system became the project. The business was never your goal. Your goal wasn't to actually make money. The organization was your real goal. You optimized the container and forgot about the cookies that go in it. That's the aesthetic lie. Straight up. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at yourself, just like I was. The belief that beautiful tools create beautiful outcomes. They don't. I've seen amazing people accomplish amazing things with a notebook and pen. Execution creates outcomes. And with these infinitely customizable, endlessly tweakable systems that are specifically designed to keep you customizing and tweaking, you never finish and never start executing. Here's what Notion won't tell you about any of this and why I need to bring it up. The more flexible at heart a tool is. Google Drive, Google Docs, right? Gmail, Notion, Asana, Trello. The more time you guys spend configuring it, the more options you have, the more decisions you have to make. And every decision is cognitive load. Every configuration is time spent on the system instead of in your actual work, right? You guys have all heard that Steve Jobs wore the same turtleneck every day. Well, there's a reason, right? 47% of digital workers, almost half of people that work online, say they struggle to find the information they need to do their jobs. That's a Gartner stat. Nearly half of us can't find our own stuff. We're too organized that it's too complex. And we blame ourselves. But maybe it's not us. Instagram-worthy productivity systems and the feeling of productive doesn't make you actually productive. Productive is dirty. Productive is getting your hands dirty. And the cleaner and organized you are, the less you're getting shit done. So let's talk about the trap that you're in that you don't even realize you're in. Every single one of these tools we talked about wants to be your one place for everything. Google is a big one, right? Google Drive, Google Mail, they all promise consolidation. They all promise to be the last app or system that you're ever going to need. And they're all lying. Because if you actually consolidated everything into one tool, you'd realize you don't need the other 12 that you're paying for, that they also made. And they can't have that. So what do? They make you switch, and if you do, it's extremely painful. They make leaving painful. They make export difficult. They create proprietary formats. They build ecosystems designed to lock you in. Don't believe me? Look at Apple. Look at Xbox, what they do instead of PlayStation, right? They trap you in their own configuration with all these custom moving parts that it would be such a headache to switch. Cell phones do that too. Look at your own setup right now. Your notes are in one place. Your tasks are in another. Your calendar is somewhere else or doesn't even exist. Your documents are scattered across 3 platforms. How the fuck are you ever going to start your business? You know you should consolidate. You know you need to be more centralized. You know you need to have your stuff in one place. You're tired and you've tried. But every attempt to leave one tool, you realize how much of your life is trapped in it and how much of a headache it would be to leave. AI is doing that too. How hard would it be to switch your AI over? That's not an accident. That's a strategy. They call it switching costs. I call it a prison. And the rent keeps going up. These apps start cheap or free, and it's $5 a month, and it's 10. Then it's pro tier, then team features, then enterprise plans. I've done it. You guys aren't a customer. You're just a number that's a recurring revenue unit for a company. And they're optimizing for lifetime value because you're paying rent and they can. They built a prison and you're the tenant. Here's the cycle. And you guys know the cycle, right? You've lived this cycle. I've lived this cycle. Frustration. You get tired of using one app, it doesn't have what you need. You go research, you find a new tool. There's the honeymoon phase, this is the best tool ever. You configure it, you set it up. There's more configuration, there's more features, growing complexity, diminishing returns. You wasted so much time, you just want results on what you started doing. And then you get frustrated. And then you see an ad for a new app and your iPhone fills up. Finally, a new simpler way to manage your life. And you guys think, well, maybe this time it'll be different. Just like anything else, right? Relationships is a great example of that. Most of the time, though, it won't. It isn't. Because the problem isn't with which tool you use. It's the model. It's your model. Every one of these apps is built on the same broken incentives. Subscription revenue, engagement metrics, feature bloat to look like they're doing it. Look at Google and why they're just throwing Gemini all in your face so they get Gemini users. It's a pain in the ass. And I served into that loop for years to things, to OmniFocus, back to To-Do List, Evernote, to Notion, to Obsidian, back to Notion again. Every time I'd be convinced that I found the perfect answer. Every time I ended up in the same fucking place. The tools changed. My overwhelm didn't. And usually when I left a platform, they'd finally get the feature that I wanted to have in the first place. And you know what? That's when I realized the problem isn't my discipline. It's not my habits. I was doing the right thing. It's not my morning routine or my mindset or my time management skills. The problem is that the entire productivity business and industry is designed to keep me searching, not finding. Because switching is where the money is made, signing up. Buying, not finishing. Hoping and not achieving. The definition of insanity is downloading another productivity app, doing the same thing over and over again. And I wasted 3 years on this garbage. 3 years and thousands of dollars trying to find the perfect system to run my business, marketing or whatever it was at the time, consulting, the perfect app, the perfect workflow, and I just never got anything done. I went from Notion to Asana to Monday to ClickUp to To-Do List to Trello, Bear, Things, OmniFocus, Roam, Obsidian, Craft. I've used them all. I've paid for them all. Fuck you, Google. I've configured them all into my configurations, needed their own configurations. God, I'm going delusional here. And you know what I had to show for it, for all of this? The same overwhelming to-do list that I started with. The same anxiety, the same feeling of being behind no matter what or how many hours I worked. I feel like you guys have been in the same spot. These companies do not care if you're productive. They care if you're subscribed or that you're paying the bill. They designed it this way. And I'm done. I'm done pretending it's my fault. I'm done blaming my discipline, my habits, my focus, my whatever. I'm done letting companies that profit from my overwhelm just tell me that I need to try harder, or that I need to upgrade one more time to get the job done. Buy their premium fucking tier. Take their productivity course. Watch their YouTube tutorials on how to use their app correctly. No. I'm not broken. You're not broken. The tools are. And I got so frustrated with the system of trying to get a business off the ground and then getting sucked into stage 0 of figuring out what to even use that I said, fuck it. I'm going to make building the tools my business, doing it the right way. So I started building something different. Gave up on my consulting business, even though I was doing great. I still have a few clients, but I built tools. Not because I wanted to start the company, because I fucking couldn't take it anymore. I needed something that worked for me instead of extracting from me. And that became and is becoming Altura, right down here. It's launching this month on the App Store and the Google Play Store. I just got word. I talked to this guy, Aaron from Apple, who's awesome and approved our developer account. And we are on the path out the door. We're finally making it. But you guys don't have to wait. You can go to the website down here, alturasociety.com. You can start earning free tokens, aka our cryptocurrency, because we're community built and we're built based on the decisions you guys make instead of what's best for shareholder value. And you guys can earn rewards today, like free memberships, not as a gimmick, but as the actual foundation of a fundamentally different model. You get paid to use our service. You get paid to build your company. You get paid to use our AI, and you don't get your data collected and harvested in the process. Because we believe that the people who create value should capture value. Revolutionary concept. I fucking know. alturasociety.com. Get in early. The app drops in a few weeks. So get on the desktop version, log in on your laptop, and stay with us. Look, I didn't make this episode just to complain, right? I know I always sound pessimistic, but I made it because I know there's millions of people who are out there that feel exactly how I felt, who blame themselves, who feel like they're not getting their business started. And they say they're the failure for not being productive enough, who think they're just needing more discipline, more willpower, a new system, more of that mythical fucking flow state that everyone talks about. You don't need one more app. You don't need another system. You don't need to optimize your workflow or to configure one more thing. You need tools, and you need one spot that actually represents your time, that gives you answers without the bullshit, that help you finish things instead of trapping you in some endless loop of organizing. If this resonated with you guys in any way, and if you feel like you understand, you're not alone. Again, we have a cryptocurrency. We have a live chat. We're doing networking events for entrepreneurs. We are out here. And we're done accepting this broken system built to profit off you just because it's the only system anyone's ever offered before. And because Google has billions of dollars and none of us do. We can fund it with our currency. We can make developments and not be subject to shareholder decisions. It doesn't have to be this way. You guys aren't broken. Your tools are. And when you realize that, that's the first step to fixing it all. I'm Caleb Schulke. I'm the founder of Altura. I'm here for you guys. Your decisions shape our future. I'd love to meet you in the community of entrepreneurs, building real businesses, networking with each other inside to come up with ideas, to start businesses together. We'll give you funding. We'll give you the AI tools. We'll give you the resources. We'll protect your data. And we'll be back here every single week and in the live chats too to answer your questions because I actually care. If my life ended today, I would be doing what I love, helping entrepreneurs, helping people fight back against a system that's just here to profit against you. I don't believe in that. I believe in myself, and I believe in you because we together can actually change it. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope your Friday night's great. I can hear the rain pouring outside. So I'm going to relax, make myself some tea, and edit these videos. Take care. Good night. And as always, I'm rooting for you.